Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Chassidus in the morning. 15 minutes to change our lives. Shavuos, finishing off the Sikha. Okay, so we first discussed about Chitas, and how Chitas is inspicious, that Shavuos is an inspicious time for Chitas because of all the people that are involved that brought it about. And then we discuss, and then we come into the discussion of learning Torah B'chol. That, of course, the Rebbe is saying, not that just because, even though that Shavuos is an auspicious time for Chitas because of all the people that are connected to it, by David HaMelech, Moshe, there's the Torah, and David that he was born and passed away on Shavuos, and the Baal Shem Tov, which is really expressed through Chassidus Chabad, Tanya. But of course, there's always an obligation to learn. I'm not satisfied with that, but what we're learning, the clear message here is we should make sure that we have set times daily for learning. And then we said, but what about person's going to say to himself, I'm not shaykh to learning, I'm busy with other things, I don't have time. Like we said, a person's in business, a person in the days, like, I'll do the important things first to make sure to daven, mincha, and this is first, let's get mincha done and figure it out before I start running into other things and learning. So we're saying, of course, that's not the right way. Now, of course, meaning first you got to figure out the mincha situation, but in general. And then we also discussed sort of, this is like between the lines, making achatas in learning, how you have to work. We have to make sure the achata is something that's practical, not something we want to do. Baruch Hashem, we have good ideas, and the Yetzer Hara is very smart at giving us these good ideas, because he gives us ideas that aren't practical, but they're very nice. And so we take these achatas, but it doesn't last very long. And better we take an achata that it seems little, but it's doable, and we will do it, versus big achatas that seem nice, but it's not actually practical. So let's finish off. So we said, so talking about it's first talking about a businessman, that a businessman has to, that he says, I'm busy learning, I'm busy working, I'll figure out my mincha, and that's it. So that's not enough. You also have to learn. And then we started talking about yesterday we started talking about even a yeshiv el, someone that sits and learns all day. So what's the issue? They're learning all day. But the thing is, it's saying they're not given over to the learning. They're not called atzmai tamayna, my whole being. They have to, and then they're constantly distracted. Whether I have to make sure to eat properly first. I didn't eat a good breakfast. I'm not in the mood of learning, so I can't really learn. I can't focus. And these different things, and really, the Rebbe is not telling us the only example. They're just giving us an example to realize whatever takes us away and distracts us from learning. That his whole essence, that I shouldn't forget, and he should be totally involved in the learning. What did he say? Doesn't get any affected by all this. Allah lanuach heshihei moichei regua. They say he has to have a chanas first. You have to make sure being well rested. I can't learn properly. I'm tired. I need to take my time, take my break. Kain Allah lishmer atmek. Be careful. Lechol macholim madanim chulu. To eat all these nice foods. Things like this. And like it says in Ashlich. Rambam, so too in the Shavuos and Shuvos, the Rambam, that special foods affect the mind, and afterwards he ate the proper breakfast, and and he took care of all these things, and he take care of. Then I can go sit down and learn properly. And it could be even that a person has a geschmack in learning. But they get caught up in trying to have that geschmack, and I can't have the geschmack because I don't have time, and so I'm not going to just learn. So the Rebbe is saying you have to realize that the subtleness of the Yetzer Hara will get you in all these little ways. So hey, let me just learn. Now it's not shaykh the way I want to do it, fine, but let's just learn anyway. And once you get yourself into that mode, then everything starts to change. And from here comes the lesson, like we said in the beginning. Why was the Torah given in the desert? The desert is nothing, it's desolate. There's Besides the fact that there's no one that owns it, but it's very harsh, very extreme. So what was the point? And I was saying that the fact that the Torah was given in the desert was very specific, and the fact that the desert has nothing and it's very extreme, you know, and the Yidden only survived because of the tzaddikim and the miracles of the tzaddikim, where it was the clothing that Hashem would provide for them, the man, or the Be'er Shemiriam, the well. That was the only way that it would survive. So what does this all mean for us? I mean, a parched desert land without any water. And the lesson that it's teaching us in regards to Torah, you have to realize, just like in the desert, the only way you could survive was through Hashem. Hashem was taking care of them, and Hashem helped them provide with these miracles in the Shavuos of these tzaddikim. To realize success in Torah, in regards to Torah, learning Torah, and setting time for Torah, might not always make sense, but you can rely on Hashem. Just like Matan Torah. What happened? The Yidden left Mitzrayim. But they walked into a desert. This doesn't make any sense. They're walking into the desert. They have no clue how they're going to survive. By nature, everyone's going to tell you that's a bad idea. But they followed instruction. Hashem said that you should go. They went. Hashem tells us to learn Torah. We go. Haman, the man came to them in the merit of Moshe. Amud Anon, the cloud, the pillar, the cloud that was b'schus Aaron, that protected them for the heat and the cold. Omayim, and those water b'schus Miriam, in the merit of Miriam. V'aleim haya lismech al schus shleishes tzaddikim, and the Yidden had to rely on the merit of these three tzaddikim. V'kach davkan, this specifically hayu muchanim l'kavat Torah, made them prepared for receiving the Torah, following God and having the zchus and the reliance on tzaddikim. This is a lesson for us. To learn Torah and to rely on Hashem. And then Hashem will give you everything you need. So you're gonna come and say to yourself, I don't have time to learn. I have to work. I have to do this. Everything you have to make sure you set yourself time for learning. Learning is a critical part of our day. And really, it's not that I set some time a day to learn, or my day is a day of learning. Could be that I only learn for 15 minutes, but that 15 minutes is what's on my head. It's all on my brain. It's what I'm thinking. That's where I'm going. And this is sort of the point, saying we have to realize that Matan Torah and what was there to achieve, and the whole reason our Torah was given in the desert, in a place that is very parched and very tough environment, and the only way we're able to survive really is miraculously. That's how it's meant to be. We are meant to be miraculous lives, but together with that, and coming through learning Torah. So everyone should have atzlacha in their learning. Set up times to learn. And it could be daily learning something. It doesn't have to be something that you don't enjoy. It could be something you enjoy, but learn it, connect with it. And then when you come and you see your friends and you talk to them, what do you have to talk about? You have something to talk about. Learning. I'm learning this thing. I want to discuss with you. And that's the best way to learn is not just read it and translate it. It's think about it. It's talk it over with friends and forgetting about it and say, this is what I'm learning. Let me share it with you. I'm not sure I understand it properly. It's also learning it a few times. And really, it's about the quality of learning, not about the quantity. I don't want to run through and like we read chitas. I want to read it and to learn it. And it could be that's what you do. You learn chitas every day. And you're going to sit there and so you're not just, you learn it for yourself. You read it, you read Tanya, you think about it, even if you see if you understand it. And even if you do, and if you do understand it, especially then, to share it with someone. And that will give it a better understanding. It'll really sink it into you, and you really have a transformative, because it's very important to understand. We're not talking about this Kabbalah's Earl. I learn, I'm much rather do something else. Doesn't make any sense to me, and it's boring. But I learned the Sikha, and I want to be Chassidish, so I'm going to do this thing. It's not at all what we're talking about. We're saying that learning is enjoyable, and it's fun, and it's transformative, and it's connected to Hashem, and it can be worth your while. But that doesn't come by learning, by reading, by saying chitas. It comes by learning. And this is what we're saying here, that learning could be learning a pasuk. And it could be only one pasuk. I'm going to learn chitas. I'm going to take one pasuk. I'm going to really pay attention. That's what you're up to. Because to hate, that's the best. You learn it, and you take that one pasuk, that first pasuk, you read it, and you read Rashi, and you say, hey, I wonder what Rashi is trying to teach me over here. What didn't we know that Rashi helped us understand? And that's it. And it could be, I don't really know. And again, let me talk to someone. I see our friend, I was learning Chumash, and the first Rashi, I'm trying to understand. I don't understand what he's saying, and discuss it. And this will be a life transforming experience. And Mitzvah Hashem, by all of us, we should have this, and we should have Kabbalah Torah, simple Pnimius, and we should receive the Torah, and we should internalize the Torah, and we should have all the brachas of the Torah, and ultimately, as Matan Torah is, it's the wedding between us and Hashem. We should have that wedding in a revealed way. We should have the yichud with us and Hashem, the coming Mashiach, Mitzvah Hashem. Amen.